what's up? Hello, my name is Emma and today I am giving you guys my January book haul. Now this is probably the strangest, most eclectic and random book haul I've ever done on my channel. There's quite a wide variety of books in this haul and just none of them fit together like in the slightest of way. I don't know what happened to January, but January was a weird month for book buying. Without further ado, here are all the books I bought / received in the month of January. Before we get into all of the books, there is one thing that I do want to share with you guys that I think is super cool and unique that you might really enjoy. So if you didn't know, the third book in the Shades of Magic series, A Conjuring of Like by Victoria Schwab, is coming out very, very soon, and accordingly, Tortine has created a super awesome pre-order swag special for you guys. I will leave all of the information in the description of this video as to how you can get this really awesome item, but it is a book cover inspired by the covers of the Shades of Magic series. You totally can use this as just a poster and just put it up on your room, and that would be really, really cool too. But basically, when you have all three books, you can essentially fold it around them and it just kind of covers them nicely. It's like a tea cozy for books, but it also matches the art of the books, which I think is really, really cool. And so if you would like to receive one of these with your pre-order of A Conjuring of Light, all that info is in the description. But of course, thank you so much, Tortine, for sending me this super awesome book cover. The first book I bought was Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Most of you know I read Gone Girl back in 2016. It was one of my favorite reads of the year, and I've just been buying the rest of Gillian Flynn's works in preparation of reading the rest of what she has published. Sharp Objects follows a reporter named Camille who is recently out of her state at a psych hospital when she has to travel back to her hometown to investigate the murders of two girls. She doesn't really have the best connections to her hometown, and this case plays closer to home than she might have anticipated. Though I had such a problem getting it. First of all, as you see, it's a very tiny book. I do this thing where every single time I order a book off a book depository, I don't check the dimensions. So I end up getting books that don't match my other books because I'm like, whoa, $5 paperback, what a great deal. And every single time it just doesn't register in my head that it could be a totally different version of the book. The next book in this haul was sent to me by Soho Teen, and that is, of course, History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I've mentioned this book a million times on my channel. I'm pretty sure you guys know what it's about by now. It's about our main character, Griffin, who has recently lost the love of his life named Theo, and it basically tells a story in past and present. The past tells us Griffin's love story with Theo, how they got together, what their relationship was like, and once they broke up. And then through the dual tense, we meet up in the present, where Griffin is attending the funeral of Theo after he has passed, and Theo's most recent boyfriend named Jackson is there. And so Griffin and Jackson have this unlikely relationship that forms because they are grieving over the same person and nobody really knows what it's like. I loved this book. I'm literally making my mom read it right now because I'm so obsessed with it. Soho Teen was so awesome and sent out a bunch of different boxes that had history related items in it, and one of the cool things is they had a custom crossword puzzle for myself, and it was your #1 favorite band, which is obviously the Midnight Beast, the park where you chased Jamie Campbell Bower into his cab. Yep, that was Union Square Park, and the rune tattooed on your arm, which you can't really see, but it's an Arazzi from the Mortal Instruments series, so that was a nice little personal touch. And Adam, of course, signed it as always. Adam being Adam. But yes, I loved History Is All You Left Me. I will have a full spoiler review up soon, and I am just so excited to gush about it with you guys. So thank you again to Soho Teen for sending me a copy of History. I also have the UK version of History Is All You Left Me coming in the mail once it's released in the UK, so like February or March, I will have a new edition of History to add to my collection. So the next item was sent to me by one of my lovely Twitter followers named Nabila, and Nabila sent me this book because she just wanted me to read it, and I'm just really thankful she sent it to me. And that book is Does My Head Look Big in This by Randa Abel Fattah. Other than the video TBR I did for Diversity Bingo, I've been very vocal about me wanting to participate in that reading challenge this year, and if you want, I will link my TBR below where you can get more information on this awesome reading challenge. But Nabila had recommended Does My Head Look Big in This to me for a main character with a hijabi that is also an Own Voices novel. She's very sweet and just insisted on actually sending the book to me, so I'm super motivated to read it. So just thank you so much, Nabila, for sharing a piece of a story you really loved with me, because that always means a ton. I've been hearing really great things about this book, especially because we don't have a lot of hijabi main characters in YA, but I didn't even realize it was a contemporary, and it's actually about our main character who chooses to wear the hijab at her school, and people aren't as accepting as we would like people to be. And so I think it's going to be a really emotional, enlightening read. I'm super pumped for it, so thank you again, Nabila. I guess this is a good way to throw this in here because I get asked constantly for a P.O. box, so I did open one recently, and if you would like to send me something, whether it's a letter, a drawing, anything, I am happy to receive it. My P.O. box address is in the description of this video. Please don't feel compelled to send me anything, but I get asked on a weekly basis if I have a mailing address that people can send things to, and now you do. So in January, I actually participated in my first books for trade. I was searching for a book relentlessly on the internet and I couldn't find anywhere to buy it, so I tweeted about it and I had gotten a response that somebody was willing to send it to me, so I ended up trading books for the first time, which was super cool. Thank you so much, Jessica, for sending me these two awesome books, which I am excited to show you guys. The first of which being this. This is the original UK edition of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Look at this cover, guys. Look at it. Appreciate it. Look at how shiny. Look at the face with the rune. A couple of months ago, I went all the way back into Cassandra Clare's live journal from like 2006, 2007 while she was in the process of getting City of Bones published, and she released this cover which I had never seen anywhere, and since then I have been looking forward to add it to my collection. So Jessica had a copy that she was willing to part with, and I am extremely excited to add it to my collection. I will be purchasing the City of Ashes that goes along with it because after that they started publishing them in the normal original US covers. So this is officially my 7th or 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th copy of City of Bones, which I am really, really excited to have. And then the next book she sent me was Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I read Silver Linings Playbook a really long time ago, but I really enjoyed it and I just hadn't gotten around to reading or getting any of Matthew Quick's other books. This synopsis is really intriguing. All it says is, today is Leonard Peacock's birthday. It is also the day he will kill his former best friend and then himself with his grandfather's P38 pistol. Maybe one day he'll believe that being different is okay, important even, but not today. Which just sounds like a really interesting premise for a novel. I've heard fantastic things about this. I feel like somebody might have recommended it to me during my Mental Illness Awareness Week's videos, but I don't really know. Either way, I'm super excited to have the opportunity to read more of Matthew Quick's work. So again, thank you so much, Jessica, for trading some books with me, and I hope you enjoy the two I sent you. So we are continuing with a thing I did in my December book haul, which I don't, again, want to talk too much about because there's a video, there's a reason that I'm buying all of these books for. But I decided that these books are gonna mean more than just reading these books to experience a story and talk about them in this video. I feel like these books are gonna be very helpful to me, so I'm excited to share them with you. The first one being Goodbye Ed, Hello Me by Jenny Schaefer. This is the second book I've ever read by Jenny Schaefer. The first is called Life Without Ed and is basically a memoir slash self-help book about a woman who is dealing with her eating disorder and how she recovered from it. I read both Life Without Ed and Goodbye Ed, Hello Me years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, when I was just starting recovery from my eating disorder and like when I was an inpatient. Like I just flew through these books over and over and over again all throughout that stay because they were just total rocks for me. I've spent a lot of time in Barnes & Noble just looking at these books and I'm like, I gotta get my own copy someday because they do mean a lot to me. So I finally got the second one and I'm excited to have it back in my collection. If you have ever dealt with an eating disorder, I'd highly, highly recommend Jenny Schaefer's books. They have been just such a help to me and so many other people, and I feel like there's so much value as to what she's written. The next book along the lines of this like mini haul inside of a haul is Crave, Why You Binge Eat and How to Stop by Cynthia and Bullock. I had been noticing that there's a lack of books about binge eating disorder, and so I decided that I wanted to read one regardless of if it was a nonfiction self-help book or if it was a YA title. So I went to Twitter and I asked you guys what books you'd recommend, and a few people who have actually experienced binge eating disorder recommended this one to me, so I bought it immediately. With where I am in my recovery, this book just feels like it's gonna be a great help to me. I feel like it's gonna be really enlightening and very helpful to myself, and having it be recommended by people who have also dealt with similar issues just means a lot to me, so I am definitely excited to read this one very soon. It's basically about understanding why you binge specific foods for yourself and what that means to you and how to kind of break out of your own personal triggers. So I think it's going to be a very individual experience reading this book, and I'm really pumped to get to it. So the final book in this haul within a haul is Intuitive Eating, A Revolutionary Program That Works by Evelyn Triboli and Elise Rush. Intuitive eating was a topic I was discussing with my social worker at our last appointment, and she recommended looking into some of the readings on it, which, you know, as a reader, I was more than willing to do. It's basically a book about developing a healthy relationship with food, because while I, for the most part, consider myself to be recovered from my eating disorder, oh my god, this is getting way too personal for a book haul. Basically, my eating goes through these cycles where I eat where I feel like I should eat, I eat how I feel compelled to eat, and then I eat normally, and then they just kind of all go in a circle over and over and over and over and over again. I'm fucking sick of it at this point. It's been too long. I want to have a normal relationship with food. So I'm hoping that this book that is all about connecting your mind and your body, and in turn having a more healthy relationship with food. I'm very hopeful that'll be able to help me, so I'm excited to read something along those lines. The next book on my January book haul is Owl Crate's January book of the month, which was Roseblood by A.G. Howard. I will have this unboxing up soon, but basically this was the book for their classic remix box because it is kind of like a retelling of The Phantom of the Opera. Essentially, it follows our main character named Rune, who is a very talented singer, but she has this kind of condition she hasn't really figured out yet that leaves her completely drained after each performance. As a result, she is sent to this Paris boarding academy called Roseblood Conservatory to kind of help her through this experience. At the Roseblood Conservatory, Rune meets this boy named Thorn, and Thorn doesn't really fit in. He doesn't actually go to the conservatory, but he just kind of hangs out there in a mask. They quickly develop a friendship, which might develop into more, and Thorn kind of has to decide if he wants to do what is right for Rune or what will lead to her destruction. Sounds like a really fascinating novel, and I've been hearing great things about this book for a month, so I'm definitely anticipating reading it. And then the final book on my January book haul is from Fairylude's book of the month. Again, we'll have an unboxing of that up soon, but the Fairylude book of the month for their January Mystery and Mischief box was Karvall by Stephanie Garber. Can we just appreciate this beautiful UK cover? Like the back too, guys, and I even just realized the spine is like slit down the middle. How freaking cool is it? I hauled Karvall a couple of months ago, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it by now because everyone is talking about this release. Essentially, it follows our main character named Scarlet, who lives on this very secluded island, and Scarlet and her sister have always wanted to be invited to this thing called Karvall, which is a week-long performance that the audience gets involved with, and it's like totally prestigious that you have to be invited to. Tella and Scarlet finally receive their invitation after all of these years, and as soon as they arrive at Karvall, Tella is kidnapped. It is said that everything is just one big performance, but of course Scarlet is gonna be kind of concerned because her sister has been kidnapped, so it's just all about this journey of her kind of finding out more about what the intentions of Karvall really are, what it's actually like, and how to find her sister and whatnot, and it sounds like it's gonna be a fantastic book. There's been so much hype, and the people who have read it seem to have really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely excited to see what I think myself. So that is it for my January book haul. Please, of course, let me know in the comments of this video what was your favorite book by or book you received or even just read in the month of January. I would love to know. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!